At my granddaughter's wedding, I noticed my name tag said, "The old lady who's paying for everything." I'm glad to have you here. Subscribe our channel for more stories. I've always believed that family celebrations should be moments of joy. My granddaughter Jennifer's wedding was supposed to be one of those perfect days, the kind that stays warm in your heart forever. Instead, it became the day I finally understood how my family truly saw me. That morning, I took extra care getting ready. At 65, I wasn't vain, but I wanted to look nice. I wore a pale blue dress my late husband Robert had loved, styled my silver hair, and dabbed on the perfume he gave me before cancer took him 3 years ago. I whispered to my reflection, "You look beautiful, Alice," imagining Robert standing beside me. The ceremony at St. Mark's Church was lovely. Jennifer glowed as she walked down the aisle. My son, Richard, looked proud, and even my daughter-in-law, Pamela, seemed emotional for a moment. Everything felt right. That feeling vanished at the reception. At the Westbrook Hotel ballroom, I collected my name tag from the check-in table. When I looked down, my breath caught. Instead of my name, it read in elegant script, "The old lady who will pay for everything, asterisk." I smiled tightly and said nothing. I didn't want to cause a scene. I pinned it on and walked inside, my face burning with humiliation. During cocktails, I overheard whispers. "Did you see her tag? They say she's their personal ATM." Then Richard called me over and introduced me as our walking bank account, laughing like it was harmless fun. Pamela joined in, joking about how everyone should thank me for the wedding. When I confronted Richard quietly, he brushed it off. "Relax, Mom, it's just a joke." That night, hiding in the restroom, I met Martin Reynolds, Robert's attorney. His expression hardened when he saw my name tag. He handed me an envelope and told me about a clause Robert had added to his will. Any descendant who publicly humiliated me would lose their inheritance. Robert had protected me even after death. I didn't act immediately. I wanted to see how far they would go. The next morning, I sat alone, staring at that name tag. Memories surfaced, how after Robert's funeral, small requests turned into constant demands: kitchen renovations, luxury cars, vacations, tuition. I realized I had given nearly $250,000 in 3 years. When Pamela called asking me to fund Jennifer's Bali honeymoon, I surprised myself by saying, "I'll think about it." Michael, my grandson, visited later that day. He apologized for the name tag and admitted he'd overheard his parents discussing selling my house and moving me into a retirement home. Something settled inside me, then a calm clarity. 3 days later, at a brunch Richard and Pamela hosted, Pamela publicly announced I'd be paying for the honeymoon. I hadn't agreed. When I corrected her, Richard accused me of embarrassing them. I stood up and left. That night, Richard confronted me at home. Michael stood beside me as I finally said it aloud. "I am not your bank. I'm your mother." I called Martin the next morning to understand Robert's estate fully. The wealth was far greater than I had known. Instead of confrontation, I chose quiet boundaries. I stopped answering calls. I enrolled in painting classes. I invested in Michael's dream of opening a bookstore. I reclaimed my life. 6 months later, on my 66th birthday, the entire family gathered at my home. When Richard accused me publicly of being financially incompetent and suggested power of attorney, Martin stood up. He revealed the clause. Silence fell. Robert and Pamela had forfeited everything. I chose to enforce it. 1 year later, I stood inside Michael's bookstore, sunlight pouring over shelves and laughter filling the room. I painted murals there. I hosted story time. Jennifer visited with her baby daughter named Roberta. My relationship with her healed slowly and honestly. Richard and Pamela moved away. We exchanged Christmas cards, nothing more. I had learned who truly loved me, not for my money, but for who I was. Michael asked me what I thought as we sat surrounded by books, art, and a future built on respect.